Variation, an introduction. If you look at this picture of a crowd of humans, you'll notice that there is large variation between them. They vary in their height, their weight, their hair color, their eye color, their skin color, etc. But they're all human. These small differences between members of the same species are what we call variation. Some of these differences are brought about by the genes, i.e. what you inherit from your parents, and some are brought about by the environment, and some are brought about by a combination of the two. So, a definition. Variation, the way that members of the same species can differ from each other. Some of these differences are inherited, and some of them are because of the environment. So, inherited variation. So, that's brought about when two members of the same species inherit different alleles for the same genes. This will cause them to have a different appearance, or, as we learned last time, phenotype. So if you look at this picture of shells, you will see that there's lots and lots of different types of colours of shells, but they are all actually the same species. So this difference in colour is brought about by different alleles that the individual snails will have inherited from their parents. Environmental variation is brought about by the environment that we live in. So where we live, what we eat, the activities that we choose. So someone who chooses to get a tattoo, that would be environmental variation, likewise dyeing your hair or cutting your hair. Any changes that are caused by the environment will not be passed on to the next generation. So these two women are identical twins who were separated at birth, so they are genetically identical, and their differences are solely due to the environment they were brought up in. So you can see actually not very much difference there at all. Variation can also be classified in a more sort of numerical way, and that's calling it discontinuous or continuous variation. The differences between this type of variation is important because they tell us about the type of genes involved in causing the variation. So, continuous variation is when the characteristic can take any value in a range. So the characteristics are usually quantitative, meaning that they can be measured using numbers, and they result from more than one gene all acting together, and or the effects of the environment as well. So the most obvious example of this would be height. You could be 160 centimeters, 161, 160.5. You can be any height in a given range. Discontinuous variation is categorical. You cannot have intermediate forms, i.e. you're left-handed or right-handed. So these characteristics are usually qualitative, so you can't put numbers on them. And they're the result of just one gene and no effect from the environment. Mutation is often what causes variation. It's a change to the DNA in a cell, which can cause a change to an organism's characteristics. Some mutations might be beneficial and some are harmful. So environmental factors like radiation can increase the mutation rate. And mutation is the kind of the driving force for providing variation in most living things. So that's the end of this very, very brief introduction. Now you need to open up your booklets and complete the appropriate blanks in variation on the variation page, and also go back to your textbook and have a look at the pages that are written out also in your booklet.